Well, in a largely symbolic move, the U.S. Department of Justice has brought new charges against Hamas leaders for their involvement in the October 7th terrorist attack on Israel. NBC's Bree Jackson has the latest from Washington. And Bree, what do we know about the DOJ charges against Hamas?
Good morning, Dave. So the charges accuse Hamas of financing and directing a, quote, decades-long campaign to murder American citizens and endanger the security of the United States. The Justice Department indicting 6 leaders of Hamas on terrorism charges related to the October 7th attack.
We will pursue the terrorists responsible for murdering Americans and those who illegally provide them with material support for the rest of their lives.
A vigil in the nation's capital Tuesday night honoring the 6 hostages killed in Gaza and the victims still being held by Hamas. Loved ones and the second gentleman, Doug Emhoff, among those in attendance. People across the world calling for the conflict to end.
The people have had enough.
There's growing pressure for Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu to do more to reach a ceasefire deal. He's refusing to withdraw Israeli troops from the Egypt-Gaza border.
There's no reason for optimism, no matter how hard the United States pushes. Hamas doesn't want a deal. This Israeli government doesn't want a deal.
The U.S. making its stance clear.
It is time to finalize that deal. The people of Israel cannot afford to wait any longer. The Palestinian people, who are also suffering the terrible effects of this war, cannot afford to wait any longer. The world cannot afford to wait any longer.
The Justice Department warning its investigation into acts of terrorism and murder will continue.
These actions will not be our last. The Justice Department has a long memory.
After nearly 11 months of fighting, mourners say they will never forget those lost in the war. And the DOJ indictment marks the first step by U.S. law enforcement to hold Hamas accountable for the October 7th attack in Israel. Dave?
Bree, you mentioned that Netanyahu refuses to pull troops from the Egypt-Gaza border. Why?
So Egypt has patrolled that area for decades, but Netanyahu says his troops found more than 100 tunnels believed to be used to smuggle in weapons and supplies for Hamas. But it's not clear if those tunnels have been used recently. Hamas refuses to accept any Israeli troops in Gaza.
All right, Bree Jackson live in D.C. this morning. Thank you.